YouTube, I'm back with another Mac reaction. I'm trying to make a word with another reaction. I'm feeling Mac-tastic. I'm feeling great. I'm looking how I feel. I'm feeling how I look. How I look. Damn good. But this is part three to Shahrazad Ali. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get into it once again, once more. I made some minute adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you could tell or not. If not, it's cool. It's cool. I just do all. I just do all for not. But very intellectual young woman, as we see here, and we just gonna get right into it, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see someone with a true, genuine perspective that we haven't even been exposed to before. But I'm gonna get you right, man. Here you go.
That nobody recognizes, that we don't get along, and we tend to think that somebody is going to pick this book up from some other nationality and think that all black women are like the women that I describe in this book. That's totally impossible because the things that I describe are visible and they're audible. You can see them or you can hear them. So nobody's going to mistakenly think you do these things if they don't see them or hear them coming out of your mouth or out of your actions. You know, so there's no danger of people thinking that all of us do this.
Shahrazad, there are a lot of women out there who think you don't like us, you don't like black women.
Oh, yes, I do. I love black women. I'm a black woman myself, and I got 5 daughters and 4 sisters, so that would, be ridiculous of anybody to assume that. As I said, we have just never had anybody challenge us on our behavior. We've never had anybody to mistakenly think you do these things if they don't see them or hear them coming out of your mouth or out of your actions. You know, so there's no danger of people thinking that all of us do this.
Shahrazad.
I wonder, does she have family support? I wonder. That's what I wonder.
There are a lot of women out there who think you don't like us, you don't like black women.
Oh, yes, I do. I love black women. I'm a black woman myself, and I got 5 daughters and 4 sisters, so that would, be ridiculous of anybody to assume that. As I said, we have just never had anybody challenge us on our behavior. We've never had anybody to say, well, let's look at what we do. We know what he does, and he's wrong in a lot of what he does. But his wrongness, his guilt, does not ensure our innocence. We have a share in the problems that we have in the black community. And just because we are dressed up and have a job does not mean that we don't practice some aberrant behaviors that end up infecting our homes and breaking up our relationships with our men and helping to hold him down. That's all I'm saying. So everyone can look at themselves. Every man can look at his own woman. You know, this book has brought a lot of people together. This book has reunited a lot of couples who now understand what happened in their relationship. It's required reading in 15 historically black colleges and 10 white colleges. Everyone must study what slavery did to the black woman. We have never looked at it as an independent study.
May I ask you, on what do you base your information?
Just research, being a black woman myself, living here in the country, and I interviewed over 3,000 people. I interviewed 379 black men who were married to or dating white women, over 100 black women who were married to or dating white men, and a little over 2,000 black men and over 1,000 black women. And what I found is that we don't have a control group. There was no point in me listing all of their names because we don't have one set of Negroes that we could point at and say, okay, well, this particular group is not affected by slavery. All of us are affected by it. We just have not been able to identify the manifestation of that behavior and be able to trace it back to what the root was and how we got that way. A lot of the behavior we practice because it's trendy, it's popular in this country, and so we think that that's just the thing to do.
Do you fault the black man for anything?
Yes, absolutely.
Bro, I'm not liking this interview style. I'm gonna be honest with you. Uh, but I love Shahrazad. That's why I'm going through this. But this interview style is terrible because she's already answered these questions. What you're doing is um rage bait. Bro, you're one of those. You're an agent. Um, she's answered these questions multiple times. So if you don't get it, I don't know what verbiage will help you comprehend it because it's right there in your face. Bam. Um, but what's shocking to me is what she's done is her own case study, and what she's found to be difficult to get a hold of is a control group. Um, so there is no control. Everyone has been in America has been affected by the ways of the wicked master. So she putting in pain, man, and I commend her for that. I honestly I didn't know how one would answer that question, but she took the scientific approach, sociology, and she is talking about social statuses. So I would love to see like, hey, if you interviewed like over 1,000 people, what were the questions? Was it a survey? Was it a sit down? Like what? That's what a good interview would ask her. Not to continue to poke and rage bait, and um, have an obvious agenda that is nefarious. But you know what I'm saying? You're just trying to make her out to look like a bad woman, because she's answering the questions flawlessly, and then and she's looking for things for her to say that's going to be wrong. So oh, you see, we was right. This is classic manipulation.
Absolutely. I
Briefly,
fought
what?
him for lying.
For lying?
Yes.
About?
All kinds of things. He won't tell us the truth about his life because he knows that we can't handle the truth. And so he will lie to us about his activities and his life because it preserves the peace for him, he thinks. But we know that lies don't build a relationship. They create doubt, suspicion, and fear. And then we exhibit those behavior traits. And fear in the female is always translated as hostility. And so, see, it's a locked-in circle that I'm trying to get us to look at, how these things are connected and what they produce. A lot of the anger and frustration we have at each other is really not even at each other. It's about our conditions. It's about something that's almost been genetically sent down through our womb because our men were not able to protect us. They were not able to keep the slave master from snatching our babies out of our womb, to allow us to have food or clothing. A lot of different kinds of things that happen to us that just make us tremble. They make us frightened. And so now it's to a point where everything that the man does, we have our total emotional balance, our self-esteem, our self-respect, everything that we stand for as a female, we have it tied right now to our men's genitals. And it depends on what he does with those about whether or not
Let's talk about that for just a moment.
See, this is an intense topic.
Yes,
I just
this
never
is.
get a chance to explain
One
it.
thing that I read over and over again in your book
Oh,
was
I know what that is.
regarding infidelity. And let me just make this here. You say in your book, there is no history of the black man settling down with one woman
Right.
and never desiring to have another before
Right.
slavery, during slavery, or after slavery.
That's
The black
just the
man
truth.
has never been recorded to have just one woman.
Right. Well, I think there's some actual facts we can look at on that. Monogamy has failed for the white man in America.
But this is like saying it's okay.
It's not me saying it's okay. This is how they're living. I'm giving you the history of what their life is.
I'm gonna say it flat out. Not only is it okay, it's advantageous. Um, a lot of problems will be cured, you know, if we just accept the way of the man's nature. But this world has put us against nature so many times, or it told you that nature was wrong. They polluted your foods. They create more narrow shoes, so you can't have like widespread shoes. They create um, makeup, fake hair, fake nails. Uh, they create uh, false education. that you can't utilize in the real world, or if you wanted to homestead, you couldn't do that. So um, why would I, as an individual that has been failed on many levels of the social construct, then say, oh, I have to listen to what you give me as a relationship? Well, most what you giving me, like for example, if you study like Nickelodeon and Disney Channel and all this stuff, and you learn about the etymologies of certain things, like Peter Pan, uh, like uh, like some the Beauty and the Beast. You start seeing things that they are detrimental and harmful to the community. Keeping this mindset about you. However, if we do go back in history and look at it as a like, let's think about it. Um, Men do it, they gonna do it. It's gonna happen. It's no malice behind it. You know, if a man's up there and like she says, if a man lies to you to protect the so-called feelings, the social construct, you know, he's wrong. Always give a woman that option. However, uh, ultimately, I just say F him. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, do you do what's best for the community? And I truly holistically feel like that is it. If we were doing it correct, divorce rates wouldn't be going up. Uh, Separations same wouldn't be happening. Marriage out of wedlock, like we just gotta. Sometimes we gotta stop listening to the outside perspective and really listen to nature and do what we're intended as designed. If the ants they stop doing what they do, or the bees stop doing what they do, then nature will go in a frenzy, and it'll be very evident. No more pollination, but we do it as humans all day long, and the world is a frenzy.
Black men haven't been waiting on me to tell them it's all right to have more than one woman. Neither have white men. This is just what they do. I'm not talking about fornication and adultery.
Right.
I'm not talking about one night stands and running around rampant with other women. That's not the kinds of, when I say more than one woman relationship.
Right.
I mean that before we came to America, our men had more than one wife and family. And we were satisfied with it, because we had not met the monogamy idea. We had not met the American white woman who, insists on certain kinds of values in her man. We had not learned envy and jealousy. All right. After coming here, those kinds of ideas were bred into us because of society.
Probably had it. We all have it. However, probably not in that avenue. Like, what the? It's wrong. Ownership. The westernized uh, ideology or mindset is just about ownership, slavery mentality. I own you. This is my wife. This is my husband. You don't own that person. You don't even own your flesh, bro. So they give you the this is YOLO. You only live once. Type of mentality. Um, However, bro, you don't own anything. You can share space with something. You can appreciate. You know, um, However, you as an individual don't own anything, and the things that we are in temporary possession of or around, we tend to abuse it. It's okay to utilize tools and help benefit other things in nature. That's cool, and manipulate it to a certain degree to help it grow to its fullest capabilities. However, when it comes to just control and taking the energy out of certain things, that is 100% wrong. But she's right. When it comes to like lustful thinking, you know, you're wrong. Because there's people that don't care about your 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 clean status, your STD status. They don't care about having a child. They don't do it just to love a person. They do it because it feels good and it feels right. I'm not speaking on that intention of the topic. I'm speaking about the intention of how you can really have multiple things going on. And if the world was a perfect world, then why is there more women than men? Somebody got to be single then, huh? Somebody got to stop reproducing. But well, a lot of what people believe in is convoluted, and they'll never get a righteous answer because it's coming from a unrighteous place.
Society and the mores that the Americans made up here. And so then we started to have problems with that. But I think that since it is apparent that most of them, not all of them, it's certainly up to the man, do love more than one woman. I got tons of mail. A lot of black men write and tell me that they have had 2 women for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years, and they can't even get the women to speak to each other. Sometimes they have 2 families,
Would I
2
want
sets of
to, but
children.
Shahrazad, would I want to talk to a woman who's sharing perhaps the bed and the money and the social life with who I would deem as my man?
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that that robs.
Do you hear that? Mine. That is such a slave-like mentality, bro. I have to share my money, share my bed. You don't own anybody. You don't own yourself. And once you love yourself, you realize that if you just, let's say this, if you just treat the flesh that was bestowed upon you in high regard, then you will start thinking more clear, have a clear mind. See, my mind changed when I fasted. My mind changed when I began to eat better, eat more clean. My mind changed when I was actually working out. When I focused on different breathing techniques, my mind changed. But when you clog up your mind, you clog up your thoughts, and your thoughts stop at like, okay, this is the end point. When your mind, body, and soul should have the intention to be infinite. I'll let you think on that. But you don't own anything, dookie butt.
You of something, you would want to know them. If he loves her, you certainly should want to know her.
There are a lot of black women out there who say,
Oh, I know
"Sister,
they're mad about that idea. I understand,
That
And
would
that's
never
not
hold
easy.
water.
Wait a minute, and that's not easy. And that's a frightening thought to most of it.
How would it not hold water when they do it in different religion? It won't hold water with you. But somebody out there is living a happy life. But it don't hold water with you. It doesn't make sense to you because you've been institutionalized. You've been indoctrinated. You've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked by the powers that be. Just all you have to do is go outside the country. All you have to do is find a religion down the street that participates in it. What you mean it wouldn't? It's already working. You looking for confirmation bias. I don't care the so-called who disagree. Like nowadays, everyone disagree with righteousness. I tell somebody I don't eat any meat, and they're like, "Oh, where'd you get your B12 from?" When I say I've been ranked 9th in the nation, I've been amongst the best athletes on the planet, and I destroyed them in the event. My proof is in the pudding. I'm nothing different. But I was raised out the concrete, and I put my feet in the soil, and then I grew. I came back. But you don't even want to go along that journey. You think your journey is finished. You think you know all the answers. You think all your answers gonna come from one book. Nah. Hell nah. Hell nah. How can every answer that I have come out of one book this thick? I say, the the thing about books, I mean, the thing, man, I don't want to give y'all that. I'm gonna give y'all that later on. Whatever. The thing about religion, it requires practice. How was the how was the Lord my shepherd when I'm my own master? Gave me a Job so I could start to question master. They gave us a whip. I call it a cracker. I see homelessness, but Texas funding NASA. They said a revelation. I give him the rapture. He said. So how was he said? Uh 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 uh. What did I say? I'm gonna get that. That's why I didn't want to say it, cause I forget.
Most of us. And I don't like that. I'm not for that. I'm in agreement with everybody else. Our men ought to just have one woman. But that is not the reality. I'm trying to get us to deal with some reality for a change. Stop dealing with fantasy. Stop dealing with television. Stop dealing with imagination of how we wish things were. Let's deal with them how they are, what it is. Present tense. And
but
if we
because
deal
that's
with that,
happening
then,
doesn't mean I have to like that or
no,
want
that
to
means
accept
that you
that.
can live in hell. That means you can live in doubt. That means that you can always be checking on your man. That means that you can be insecure and be, tearful. And that means you can be disappointed when you find out the real truth. And you don't want to have that in your life. None of us do. But in order not to have that, then we have to deal with some reality and recognize that men are not limited in the way that women are. Men are able to love more than one woman. I'm not talking about, as I said, just a random sexual relationship of fornication and adultery and all of that. I mean that there are many black men who have children by more than one woman. What is to become of those children? They need their father.
Now, you say that once these relationships don't work and they start breaking up or things start going bad at home, you say, she will cry and seek sympathy. During this period, the black woman will remind the black man of everything she has ever done for him.
Yeah, we do that.
She will try to make him feel guilty and ashamed of his decidedly outrageous behavior.
Absolutely.
She'll let the house go, and I quote you, to hell.
That's right.
She may stop cleaning, ironing, washing, and cooking.
And we
neglect
withhold
his place.
sex. That's a real tool we use. We do that.
But if
To
you would
express
cheat
our
on me or
dissatisfaction.
walk out
Well,
on me,
see, that's what I'm saying. We have to get into definition. Who told us that was cheating? Where did that idea come from that that's cheating? And I'm not saying that a lot of men are not just running around. I'm not talking about that. But if a woman finds out that her man has been with a woman while she's been with him for 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's a serious commitment and relationship. And if it hasn't taken anything from me, if I'm not going short of anything, and if this is what he thinks his responsibility is, then what kind of hell are you going to go through to prevent that? Since we cannot stop him, we have not been successful. The white woman has not been successful in stopping the white man from having another woman. They call them a mistress. We pick up a lot of that terminology. But a man who has 2 women, that's not necessarily a mistress. That's just his other woman. Now we got 2 choices. We can be the woman or the other woman. We don't have but those 2. Now I know we don't like that. I don't like that. But that's the reality of our life at some point. Now it's up to the man. But every man doesn't want 2 women, but those that do, they're going to do it.
What about our morals and our religion?
Whose religion? Whose morals? Not our religion, because we're not practicing the religion of black people anymore. That was taken from us. We don't have our morals anymore. That was taken from us. So whose idea are you representing when you stand up for those values? Not ours. Somebody else's. Some other nationality. And it may work for them. But it doesn't work for us. It hasn't worked for anybody, really, but nobody wants to deal with the truth. Monogamy was only created because of the economics of it.
The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman has been out for, what, over a year now?
March the 20th will be the 1st year anniversary. And for that anniversary, I'm releasing my new video. And the video is called The Black Man's Guide on Tour. And it is exciting.
I would assume it's pretty hot.
Yeah, it's hot, I tell you.
After writing this book, just take a moment before you answer.
Okay.
Do you regret anything about what you wrote if you had the chance to do it all over again, would you perhaps soften some of the things that you said?
No, that doesn't require any in-depth thought. I've been asked that a lot, of course. No, I wouldn't, because see, we always want some kind of instruction and help to come to us that doesn't affect the status quo. We want somebody to tell us some information or give us some instruction that doesn't require us to change. Okay? This book requires change. And one thing this book has done that I have really been pleased with, it has certainly reopened communications. And a lot of us as black women, because of what here seems like it's just so radical, are willing to make a lot of concessions now and cooperate a lot of other kind of ways to keep from having to do any of these things that I list in here. So I have letters from black men who just write and say, listen, thank you, my wife is cooking better meals now. I have letters from children that say, thank you, my mother quit her second job, she's home with us now at night. I have had black men walk up to me on the street in New York and reach out to shake my hand and say thank you and just burst into tears and say, thanks, hey, I thought I'd never live to see the day.
Not to jump.
I ain't trying to hear no more questions from her right now, because I got to end it. But you're going to get some people that doesn't like what you're going to say, but there's going to be some people that need to hear what you got to say. Some people that need to be addressed, and if it constitutes righteous change, invest in it. Invest in it. If I get some beer right here or alcoholic beverage, and I be in Hawaii or somewhere, my feet kicked up, and I'm celebrating, drinking, nobody will say anything to me. But if I get on YouTube and talk some good stuff, somebody's going to say, you need to, they all of a sudden become the best critiques in the world. If they see my palate, it has nothing but greens and fruits on it, and I say I don't want that. You know what? A lot of people, they start asking me all the questions in the world to make sure I'm sure who I am. They don't want, like, organically positive vibration is not an easy route. You're going to get backlash from the people that, enslaved you. That's just what it is. If you're getting free from bondage, you're going to get backlash from the so-called slave master and its cronies. They, them. So I get results. I went outside, man, after I did a cleanse for 10 days, a parasite cleanse for 10 days. And this was when I was already been stopped eating meat. But for 10 days, I went out. Whoa, I didn't know the earth smelled like that. I didn't know I could perceive this well. I didn't know I can hear this good. Wait a minute. Did I just do a reset? Did I just become sensitive to the planet again? Did I really clear myself of mucus? Shout out Shahrazad Ali, man. It does start, with conversation, communication. I appreciate you for doing what you have done. Anyone that has listened and is listening, man, that's love. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do your big one. I'm not really concerned about people negative or anything going against what I got to believe in. Like, critique for sure if you must, but I just hope that it's positive. So if you say, what if you think about it? I don't care. You're getting your information from someone that literally ate my people. You're getting your information. I'll be trying to end this soon. But I'm not really tripping. I was trying to end it. But you know what? It's church right now. The look. It's called The Delectable Negro: Human Consumption and Homo Eroticism within U.S. slave culture. And basically, it talks about it's a human consumption, and they ate the slaves. So you can go ahead and subscribe to them, subscribe to them ideals. Go ahead. But me, I'm a freedom fighter.